How can your property be shared if you die without a will? Let's find out. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I hope you always subscribe and you always watch our video. We had a couple of questions and we picked one today to talk about it. So we are going to talk about how your property can be shared without a will, or if a couple dies with an invalid will, how can those property be shared according to the law? So, under the community property, there are different types of property within marriage. So today we talk about the community property. So, under the community property, if you die without a will or without a valid will, how can that property be shared? So there are many ways to share the property if you die. But according to law, the rules are not always in favor of the surviving couple. So if another couple die, the rules are not always in the favor of that surviving couple. What do we mean? Like, if for example, the surviving couple or the deceased, let's say the deceased couple, if the couple who died had an outside child, we call that maybe a wedlock, or you say a stepchild. The law cannot allow you to acquire 100% of the property. The surviving couple cannot acquire 100% of the property. The survivor is only allowed to take 50% of that property, because a well-loved child is not eligible to acquire property within the community property law or whatever law. So the best way to get rid of that, because many people sometimes refuse to have a will, but if you die without that will, your property can be shared according to the law. A couple cannot just take the property within his or her name. No, you can't do that. It should be by law. And that law states that 50% of the property will be given to the surviving couple. So, the best way to get rid of this is to follow few rules. Why the both couple are still alive, why both of you are still healthy and alive, there are several ways that you can set or arrange a valid will. You should have a valid will, because if you don't have a valid will, your property will not be shared according to how you want to do it. So you should have a valid will, either by a law firm or a company that do share a property after death. So number one is the survivorship agreement. Under the survivorship agreement, the both couples, while still alive, can go to a law firm or a company to agree that after death, the surviving couple will acquire all the property. That is number one. Number two to that is transfer upon death deed. There is a deed for that under the law where they do transfer your property after the death, but it is done under the transfer upon death deed. The both couple will go to a law firm to make an agreement that 100% of the property will be transferred to the surviving couple. That is another way. So there are two ways, because most people don't want to have a will at a particular time until death do them apart. So if such thing happen, there are will to share the property, because 50% of that property will be given to the surviving couple. And I repeat this, a well-loved child is not eligible to any property when it comes to will, except the legitimate child. Any illegitimate child cannot acquire any will, only a legitimate child. That is the rules, and nothing can change that. So if you are in a relationship where the couples don't want to agree to have a will, you need to settle the will situation. Find a law firm where you both can go and have an agreement on how your property should be shared, because this really caused so many problems. After death, the wife or the husband want to acquire all the property, and that is not the right way, because the law is against that. And if the both parties had a separated property, there is another property called the separated property. The separated property is where the wife controls her own property and the husband controls his own property, but the both couples contribute to the affair of the home. Do you understand that? Both parties control his or her property while they contribute to the home according to what they have. So upon death, the property of the surviving spouse will be transferred directly to his or her name or account or whatever. And the couple who is deceased, family can acquire his or her property. That is a separated property with honor the marriage. So do you understand that? So sharing property is a difficult thing, because people cannot go by the law at times. They want to use their own discretion to share the property, and it brings conflict because there are rules governing that. You must follow the rules in sharing that property. So thank you for today, and we hope to see you another time.